The Welcome Inn at the Metro Community Church in Kelowna was set up as a temporary winter shelter. The plan is for it to close down at the end of March. So what happens to the 40 people who are currently taking shelter in there after the end of March? No clear answers.
As far as what happens next, we're working very closely with the other shelters and with BC Housing to try and work on transition plans for our residents. So to determine which shelter might be the best one for them, to see who may be getting supportive housing or if they can find market housing.
So at this point, does it look like there's likely to be a place for all 40 of them to transition into, or does it look like some of them might be at a loss?
There's not a magic plan right now that we can say that there's 40 beds available somewhere, but we are working with the shelters to try and get people in there over the next few weeks, one or two at a time, so that we're not having 40 people that are instantly homeless and going back out onto the street.
Really no good plan for these people?
No, not at all.
And it's not just this one, you were saying?
No, there's Fuller and West Bank. The ATCO trailer ones they set up.
So how many people are we talking about
About 70.
that go from sheltered to homeless?
Homeless. Not including the people coming from Vernon and the East Hastings.
They're rolling in from wherever.
It's going to be wherever, because this is a hot spot in summertime with all the tourism and everything, it's going to be scary.
There are some of our residents, though, that are not comfortable in shelters, and so they are choosing to go outside, and they will be tenting outside.
What's the stress level like among them as they wonder about what's next?
The stress level is enormous. Nobody wants to think about not having somewhere to go, not having a place to eat or a place to lay their head. It's the anxiety level in the shelter right now is very high, and people are worried. They want to know where the next step is, and we don't have those answers yet. We're working on them, though.
Wouldn't they be better off if it just stayed open for longer?
It's a tricky question. Having anybody out on the street is a no. Obviously, we don't want people to be on the street, but shelters aren't that's not the go-to right now.
It's housing.
Housing is what we need. Shelters, we don't need more shelters, we need more housing. And that is a bigger picture plan, but we also need more mental health support, facilities specifically for people experiencing mental illness.
But so there's people in there right now that would say, Chelsea, where can I go next? And you don't necessarily have an answer.
Yeah, there's people today who have asked me that question, where do I go next? And I don't have an answer, but we have also been messaging from the very beginning that we are only an emergency temporary shelter open until the end of March. So this isn't necessarily a surprise, although it is very anxiety provoking.